Hello, my name is Erin Patten, and I am from a local advertising agency here in Big Rapids, here to talk to you and your class about the fear of public speaking and a how-to on getting over these public speaking nerves. To begin, I wanted to go over a quick overview of what my presentation is going to look like today, including what the actual fear of public speaking is, who's affected by it, how to turn your negative attitude into a positive attitude, some tips and tricks on how to present better up on stage, and then a quick wrap-up of the presentation. Moving forward, the fear of public speaking is known as glossophobia. It is known as a fight or flight reaction to a common uncomfortable situation. This can be known to be dated back to our ancestors' times when cavemen were still around and they would be faced with big animals such as woolly mammoths. Some would stay and fight and had no problem, and others would run for their lives. And that all depends on what their bodies react to it. Moving forward with that idea, the bodies release hormones when you get put into these uncomfortable situations where you start to sweat, you get jittery, you start to lose focus, you want to trip, you want to puke, and it's all normal. If you have these symptoms, you probably have the fear of public speaking. But it's important to know that it is a very common fear. In fact, about 75% of people are affected. And it's most people start off with the fear, and as they work towards it, they better themselves and they better their public speaking. And that's what I'm here today to talk to you about. So, you might be up here thinking that me talking about fixing this fear is a lot easier said than done. And you're right, you cannot eliminate the fear, but you can manage and reduce it. Most importantly, you need to use those nerves as a positive attitude. If you go up thinking, I am going to fail, I'm going to fall off the stage, I'm going to throw up, then you're setting yourself up for that negative reaction. When you take those nerves and you say, this means I'm ready, this means I'm excited, then you're more likely to succeed. So when you're excited, you go up on with a whole new presence as to when you're scared. Moving forward, I want to talk about this quote from Eleanor Roosevelt because I think it fits very nicely with what we just talked about on the previous slide, because it talks on facing your fears, and once you face it, you can say, I lived through it and it's fine. So it says, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I have lived through this horror, I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. What that basically is saying is, if you think that you can't do it and there's no way, no matter what you do, no matter what you prepare for, then you're not going to be able to do it. But if you go in with that excitement and, as I mentioned before, that readiness, then chances are you're going to succeed. If you're still a skeptic on how you can get over your fear, here are some tips and tricks to at least give a try. Number one is prepare. If you prepare immensely before you have to actually go up on stage and talk, you will feel so much more comfortable and more in your element, because you can think, all right, what questions am I going to have? What am I going to face when I go up on stage? So start in the mirror talking to your friends and family, and that'll do you a lot better. Number two is use tools to reduce audience attention on you. If you have a PowerPoint or a graph or a Excel sheet on the screen for them to look at, chances are you're going to feel a lot more comfortable because they're not looking at you, which, can help, but it's not always the case. Number three is using humor as needed, and that kind of goes with engaging the audience, because if you can make your audience laugh, you're making them feel more involved in the presentation. Now, don't go up there with the idea that you're a stand-up comedian, because that usually doesn't end well, but just try to make yourself feel comfortable and the audience. To kind of wrap things up, we're going to go over what we covered, which includes what the fear of public speaking is, what that means for you, who is affected, some tips and tricks on how you can better present to a large group of people, and now we're just wrapping things up. So my name again is Erin Patten. My contact is on there for you. I hope this helped you, and I look forward to seeing your success in the future for your public speaking skills.